Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 5 Minutes of Math. Now, I know what you all must be thinking by now. Did Mr. Lunsford make it out to that planet and talk to these aliens about some tater tots? Did he do it? Well, I would love to tell you that I did, but the reality is this is the end of the second 9 weeks. I was swamped, but thankfully I've caught up. And I can resume our homework videos like we've been doing, and don't worry, the tater tots are safe. So, as you can see. So, let's go on. We're starting off with number 12. And I owe you 2 explanations. I owe you 2 videos. Alright, and I'm working on them. So you all will have Mondays and Tuesdays homework. But I'm picking up with Wednesday so you guys don't fall behind. Alright, so people at the movies. So here's some raw data, and we've got a bunch of folks sitting in the movie. Everybody from 22-year-olds, we've got 25, 36, 42, 33. We've got a bunch of ages, different age ranges. So the first move we always make is to sort our data. So our youngest guy in the movie theater is 22. The oldest guy is 76. All right. So the first step that we take is to look at our minimum. What's our smallest value? 22. And our largest value is 76. Now, if we subtract those two, 76 minus 22, we end up with 54. That's our range. Now, we are now going to start working on the pieces of our Box-And-Whisker plot. And you can see I kept my little box parts section down here at the bottom. So, what do we notice here? We have an even number of data points. We have 12 data points. So what does that mean? To find the median, we have to get those middle 2 points and find the mean. Remember, on Mount Median, they're staring at each other and things are looking kind of mean. So that's what we'll do. 36 and 37 are our middle 2 points. They're points numbers 6 and 7. And those are the midpoints if you have 12 data points. So 36 plus 37 is 73. 73 divided by 2 is 36.5, and that happens to be our median. All right, so let's go on to the next part of this. We found our median. Now let's go find our lower quartile. So we're looking at data points that are less than 36.5. All right, and as it turns out, we have 6 points. 22, 25, 29, 33, 36, and then 36. And yes, we have to count them both. So if we're looking at this, 29 and 33 are our midpoints. And again, we have to take the mean because we have 2 data points that are right there in the middle. So 29 plus 33 is 62. 62 divided by 2 is 31. Now we know what our lower quartile is, 31. Let's go find that upper quartile. So this time, we're looking at data points that are greater than the median. So median again is 36.5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6 points: 37, 42, 44, 45, 53, and 76. So we have 6 data points. That's an even number. So we have to use 44 and 45. 44 plus 45 is 89, and 89 divided by 2 is 44.5. Now we know our upper quartile. Okay, so here we can start to look for our whiskers and outliers. Now, remember this strange word, the interquartile range. Let's see if we can figure that out. We've got 31 as our lower quartile and 44.5 as our upper quartile. Subtract those two and you get 44.5 minus 31 is 13.5. And that is our interquartile range. It's just the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. Now, if we take it to the next step, so again, the interquartile range will give us the barriers for our outliers. So it's 13.5 times 1.5, that's 20.25. So the low outliers have to be our lower quartile minus 20.25. 31 minus 20.25 is 10.75. So any values below 10.75 are low outliers. We don't have any. So let's look at the upper quartile. 44.5 plus 20.25 is 64.75. What that tells us, is that any values above 64.75 are upper outliers, and yes, we have one. The one older gentleman in the theater is an outlier. So maybe this was an action movie, maybe this was something, say it was a Marvel comic movie or something like that, and you wouldn't expect to see a 76-year-old there, but hey, you can be young at heart at any age. So 76-year-old, he is our outlier, but I'm still glad he was there in the theater, so we can finish filling in our box. Our lower edge of our whisker is 22. Our upper edge is 53, and 76 is our outlier. Whenever you have an outlier, you use the next lowest number, the one that's closest to the boundary point of 64.75 without going over. So that's 53. Now we can start to build that box. The lower edge of our whisker is 22. The lower quartile is 31. The median is 36.5. The upper quartile is 44.5. And the upper edge of our whisker is 53. And our outlier 76. And I drew that box just a little bit bigger. I know it looks like it was done by a kindergartner somewhere, but I wanted you all to really see the parts. So I drew the box just a little bit larger than I did last time. All right, hope you don't mind. All right, so let's pick up with the second question, and this one is a little shorter because we don't have as many data points. So this chart looks at the lengths of major rivers in the United States. So we have our raw data, and of course our first step is always put everything in order. So putting them in order from least to greatest, that's what we have. 981 is our lowest point, and that's our minimum. Our highest value is 2,348, and that's our maximum. And our range, if you subtract those two, is 2,348 minus 981, and it's 1,367. So if you notice, we have 6 data points. That's an even number. So we're going to have to find the mean. We're going to have to find the average of the center 2 points. So that's 1450 plus 1459 divided by 2. So that's 2909 divided by 2. 1454.5 is our median. So let's put this in our box. We're ready to start building our box and whisker plot. That's our first step. So let's go on. We're looking at our lower quartile now. So we're looking at data points less than the median. Any point less than 1454.5. So we've got 3 points. Thankfully, no math involved. Just find that middle point, 1243. And since we have 1243, we add it to our box. That's pretty much it. That's our lower quartile. So let's move on. The upper quartile data points greater than the median. So as it turns out, we have 3 points here too. This question was kind to us. So we're just looking at the middle point, 1900. So odd number of data points, we can add 1900 to our box and move on. All right, so now we get to that interquartile range. Now at this point, what we do is we subtract 1900, our upper quartile, from 1243, our lower quartile. We end up with 657. Now, we have to figure out our boundaries to see if we can find our outliers. So that's the interquartile range times 1.5. And if you multiply 657 times 1.5, 985.5. That's what you end up with. Now, let's see if we have any outliers. Take our lower quartile and subtract 985.5. That's 257.5. Are there any values in that list below 257.5? No. We don't have any low outliers. So we know the lower edge of our whisker is going to end up being 981. Upper quartile, 1900 plus that interquartile range times 1.5, 1900 plus 985.5, 2885.5. We do not have any upper outliers. So again, this question's easy on us. Our lower edge of our whisker is 981. The upper edge is 2348. There are no outliers, and that's okay. You can have a box and whisker plot with no outliers. So let's build that box. We have, if we look in here, lower edge of our whisker is 981. Here we have 1243 is our lower quartile, so that great big dot sitting right on top of 1200, A little bit to the right of 1200. That's where that dot's actually going to be. And that's 1243. Then we have our median at 1454.5. Then we have the upper edge of our box, the upper quartile at 1900. And then we have the upper edge of our whisker, 2348. And that's it, because there are no outliers. That box over there is empty, so I just put the word none. We're done. That's all there is to it. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging in there, sticking with us. And I will talk to you in 24 hours. And yes, I am working on my own homework from Monday and Tuesday. Y'all have a good one.